Hello everyone, my name is Eric. Welcome to Mind Garbage. Today I want to talk to you about something that just kind of broke out today, or yesterday, or whenever this posts. You may have seen that in the past, I think it was a week or so ago, Bethesda had announced, developer of Fallout, Elder Scrolls series, and publisher of games like Dishonored, Wolfenstein, new Doom that's coming out, that they were going to be having an E3 press conference. Now, what this pertains to is something I'm going to get into just a little bit later. The E3 press conference came as a big surprise to a lot of people, mainly because last year they had one for Fallout, basically for Fallout 4. They announced Dishonored, that other, weird free-to-play shooter that I can't really think of, whatever. They talked about Dishonored 2 as well. And Doom. They showed off Doom. Ooh, sorry. Hopefully that didn't destroy you. But it was not really expected that they would have a press conference this year at E3. As it turns out, they are in fact having one. Now, in my head, I assumed that, hearing this, I'm like, okay, we're going to see more of Dishonored 2, perhaps Evil Within 2, and then perhaps a new Wolfenstein, because you'd have to imagine that they would talk a little bit about at least both of those. And I would assume one of them would be out this year. The big one probably being Dishonored. And then this morning is where things get interesting. There's the DICE conference? Award show? DICE award ceremony, I believe is what it's called. Is going on right now in Vegas. And Todd Howard gave a speech today, or a conference. I'm not sure. I think it was a speech. Anyway, he said that Bethesda is working on 3 different properties. Now, I hear this, I think he's not talking about Bethesda Softworks, otherwise he would have said, Bethesda is working on, our developers are working on this or whatever. So when I hear that, I immediately think, okay, what are the 3 projects that they could be working on? He said that they were entirely new and different for him. I assume that, regardless of him saying that, Elder Scrolls 6 has to be at least in some sort of pre-production. Now, I am more than 100% confident that you will not see Elder Scrolls 6 for a long time. I would say the absolute earliest that you're going to see a glimpse of something for it, or hear a little bit of rumblings for it, would maybe be end of next year or end of 2018. I could see it launching at the end of 2018, but that's the absolute earliest. Now when I hear the next 2, that's what gets my mind going a little bit, trying to think what kind of games would be out of the realm for Bethesda to do. And that's where I have my ideas. So, in my head, Bethesda, the types of games that they do are all these, RPGs, role-playing games. I would really like to see, and hopefully, that we get some sort of third-person open-world kind of game. Now, while Skyrim and Fallout are predominantly, you can have third-person if you want. I feel like those are very first-person driven games. I would love it if we could get a third-person, action-adventure type kind of game. I feel like that would be very different for Bethesda to do, and I think that they're very, capable of doing that. Many years ago, they talked about doing Prey 2, and when that never really saw the light of day, a few journalists were able to see it. And gameplay demos were shown and everything, and it looked really awesome, but it just never materialized, as it were. I don't remember who was working on that game. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, because it kind of does. They were, pouring a lot of work into that game. No, that's not Arcane. Arcane is making Dishonored. But it very well could be Prey 2. That is a game that has been gestating for a long time. And I'm not sure if they've gone just outright and said that the game is officially canceled and done. They probably have, but I hope not, because that game looked freaking awesome. there's so many different things that they could do. One thing I would really love to see Bethesda really do, and Bethesda Studios, the actual team, behind, like I said, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, all that, I would really love to see them make a really dedicated shooter. Now, that kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to do, considering that, Bethesda Studios does their own thing, and then you have the other teams, such as Machine Games, rather, and Tango Works, who's probably going to be doing Evil Within too, doing their own, like, completely different things. It doesn't seem like Bethesda would want to, put out a first-person shooter. But that doesn't mean that they could at least do something like that. I do think that aside from Elder Scrolls 6, which, oh man, someone hold my hand, because I can't stop thinking about it and how good it could be. Besides that, I think it's very possible that you will see something a lot more linear. I feel like in recent years, with the reception of Fallout 4, obviously, I feel like when it came out, everyone was so high up on it, myself included. And I still think it's a great game, and it's one of the better games I played last year. It wasn't my game of the year. That actually went to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Sorry if you, love Metal Gear and didn't like that game. I like Metal Gear, I respect it, but that's my opinion, okay? I was sleuthing around as Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, who else would you want to be in real life? I mean, come on. It's Kiefer freaking Sutherland. So I think we would see more of a linear type game. Maybe akin to more something like Uncharted, Uncharted and Tomb Raider come out, the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I have not gotten a chance to play, but from the looks of it, it's a lot more, it's open, but it's still linear. And I feel like that kind of game is missing from Bethesda's, record. You have these giant open worlds that you can get lost into, but not everyone kind of necessarily wants that, which that's fine. Every now and then that's good. Lately myself, as it comes to video games, I've been playing, I just started playing Life is Strange, finally getting that off my backlog. And there's something to be said about a more linear and focused game. And I think that if Bethesda really, I think I'm going to sneeze. I think I'm going to try and cut that. We'll see how that works. Oh, mama, that was a bad sneeze. Oh, God. But, getting back on topic, I think it's very possible that you will see a more linear game. I know I've said linear like 100 times, but that's what's going in through my mind. Also, I trumped this. I did not prepare at all for this video because I'm really jazzed up about this news because Bethesda is one of my favorite developers and they make a lot of awesome games. On the same track of them doing, a open world Fallout type game or Elder Scrolls type game, a setting that I would really, really, really like to see them do that I think would be really awesome would be perhaps more of like a Red Dead, like open world, that kind of style, like set in the Old West. I don't feel like there's enough Old West games out there at all, and that's a setting that really needs to be utilized a lot more. Red Dead Redemption, a Rockstar game, when that came out, that was probably, it holds the rank in my mind as one of the best games I've ever played. And I've played a lot of games. I just zoned out thinking about Red Dead Redemption because that game is so excellent that all I want to do is exist in that universe. Hang out with John Marston and Charles Dickens. Or no, West Dickens? Yeah, I think it's Charles West Dickens. Yeah. Unless Charles Dickens... Was that from Assassin's Creed? I'm getting way off topic. I'm sorry. There's not enough Western games, and I think Bethesda is really one of the few developers that could do a game in that setting and just make it incredible. You look at the way Fallout is, and it's very barren and kind of lifeless, but that's sort of the whole point, is that it's this world trapped in a time that does not exist anymore, or technically never existed, and you're, in the future, and you're seeing a snapshot into how people used to live. And I would think it would be so fascinating to kind of exist in that, but have that be the current world that you're in. You know, the beginning of Fallout 4, spoilers, I guess, you know, you're in the 1950s, sort of, like that time period. I think it's a different year, like 21, whatever. But when you were in that time period, for me, I was like, this is awesome. I really wish that I could stay in here. This world is bright, it's colorful, and this is awesome. I would love to see Bethesda take that and put that into a not modern, but our time period and make it a Western. You can just imagine quests and gunplay, perhaps mini games such as rolling dice, you know, and I don't know, playing poker. Basically take Red Dead and just have Bethesda do that, because that would be pretty cool. And obviously not as a knock towards Red Dead, because that's one of my favorite games of all time. Another thing that I would really like to see them do would be a more straight up sci-fi style RPG, akin to like Mass Effect. Mass Effect is another one of my favorite gaming series. I absolutely adore that franchise. Very excited for Andromeda. And once again, I feel like there's just not enough sci-fi role-playing games, and I would really love to see Bethesda tackle that. So there's so many different like options, and I feel like I could ramble on and on and on and on and on about all these ideas about what Bethesda could possibly be up to. I just wanted to talk about this because Bethesda, like I said, they're one of my favorite developers, and I love everything that they do. I think they're fantastic, and I think they're wonderful, and I think they're great, and I love them. And you guys, Bethesda, Todd Howard yourself, if you're watching this video, I love you. Keep up everything you're doing. When my wife and I watched the E3 press conference, we were really into it. If you catch my drift. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your friends. You can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93. If you want to follow this channel on Twitter, follow us at 3_beersin. Yeah, perhaps one day we'll do another podcast. We've been doing these videos for a while, and it was just me, and I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of getting better at it. You know, depending on when this posts. I've recorded a whole bunch, so it's kind of like, oh, which one am I going to post first? But whatever, you know what I'm saying? You kind of know what I'm saying, right? Alright, talk to you guys later. Have a great day.